not 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. You're live, babe.
I know, 10 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
All right. I don't know if anybody's even in here tonight, but we about to see what the climate's like. Shout out to everybody that stayed up late. And if you couldn't stay up late, I totally understand. I really, really do. It's unfortunate when you have to travel and do things that sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Hey, y'all.
You got 65 of your folks.
That's cool. Shoot. We don't need to tell nobody but 65 people about this, right, y'all? Shoot, the rest of them can wait, right? Only 65 in the chat on a Friday night. Everybody must be on that date night. What's the deal? Hey, Sylvie. Hey, fam. Hey, Tony. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. This is old school. Remember when we used to only get like 79 people in the chat? That's old school right there. Remember that there, y'all? Tonight, man, kind of a crazy day. I'm going to call Pim Pim, and I'm going to go over the news. And I'm going to do the news, and then I'm going to call Pim Pim. And we're going to talk about some of the things that are going on and address some of the rumors that are going down. Shout out to Bethany right there. Y'all see that? Shout out to Big Beth.
We literally just hop off the plane, you guys.
We just got off an airplane. Literally just got off an airplane, y'all.
Straight home, ran straight.
Hello, King Oso. RC, what it do? Bethany's in the building. Keith, always shalom, shalom, blessings. Arthur, hey, what up, bro? Mary, let's get to it, y'all. Should I call Pimpe? Will you call me? I know, just call my regular line. Tell him to call me.
He's available?
Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all are going to say, oh, he's so unorganized tonight. You're darn right, y'all. We just literally got off an airplane.
What's up, Sammy D?
Sammy, my man. What up, RD Pursued? Oh, yeah. Okay, a lot of people are saying on Twitter, yeah. Mo, thank you. Shout out to Mo. Get him right, Mo. On we out there. We on live. Yeah, we about to 100. Hey, y'all. Okay.
Pimpe said he's here, so.
Pimpe says he's here?
Yeah, in the chat.
Okay, well, Pimpe, you can call. Oh, look, there's Dottie Dot.
Hey, Dottie. Hi, Bethany.
Hey, Beth. Hey, Dottie. Okay, that's Luther right there, y'all. Okay.
Pimpe.
Pimpe, sorry. Uncle Luke. I call him Uncle Luke Pimpe. Pimpe.
What is going on? Did you eat your white shirts?
Oh, I don't even know. We're both wearing white. Weird.
We are.
Jinx. We don't know. We just do things, man. How are you?
It helps our background pop.
I tell you, I feel sometimes like my brain's a little bit fried. I've read so many articles over these last, few days. It's exciting news. I got to be honest.
Well, you wanna go over the news with me real fast first?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so you want to go over your news first, and then we can kind of back and forth on that.
Good Lord, I'm not even sure where to start.
Well, I'm talking about the one. Okay, specifically, I'm talking about received a telephone call from the German Prime Minister first.
Okay, yeah. So Germany reached out to literally over the phone, and they want to do business with Iraq, and I know they want to get Siemens involved. They want to help install a lot of the telecommunications, which is a really huge deal. But it's not just. Here's what I just got done talking to my friend about this. I said, this is the craziest thing. There's 204 countries around the world. Okay, there's somewhere in the neighborhood of about 109 of them are trying to hit up Iraq to do business. there has been 47, I think, countries that have entered into new trade deals with Iraq. It's unbelievable. It's crazy.
And can I ask you a quick question about those 109 out of that 200 and something number? What type of stimulus do you think that would cost for the economy of Iraq as well as globally, possibly?
Okay, so
barring exchange.
No, okay, yeah. Even if there is no exchange, to be honest with you. So let's just. I want to make a comparison. When Obama was in office, he never got to 3. He got around 1.5 was his average, and he said that was going to be the new norm. Trump got in there and said he wanted to reach 3, and he is reaching 3. Now we're celebrating the fact that our GDP is at 3%. Okay, Iraq is predicted to get at 8.1%, but now this guy I really respect and love in the world of economy. His name's says Rekard. Now saying that within 5 years you can possibly see a GDP in Iraq at around 11. I was floored.
Yeah,
I cannot believe that. I was thinking, oh my God, do you know what that has to? Do you know what? I think people have to really take a step back and go, what does that mean? What does that entail? It seems to me like the whole world seems to, at this moment, be focusing on Iraq. We all know that these countries want to make Iraq the center of the trade world. We get that. We know that. But, I mean, everybody wants to be there from ground zero. We are rebuilding an entire country, and everybody sees the possibility in there.
Okay, so let's talk about something else real quick. I want to fast forward. Let's talk about this budget dispute. And you and I, this is a fresh subject for you, right? So there was a blog that said that, hey, look, we paid they said the government, the GOI said, we're going to pay the Kurds, right, some back pay and some payments, right? Yes. And we're not going to pay them any revalued money, right? We're going to pay them in the old rate of $11.90, right?
Okay.
And then a lot of people were like all down because they said, well, it looks like you're going to have to wait for 2020 for something to happen. They said that.
I don't understand why they have to wait for 2020.
Well, the names will remain innocent to protect the guilty, but well, it does. That's what you say it. Let's analyze it from the beginning. Okay.
Let's be honest. The truth of the matter is, there's no way of knowing. But let's just take a look at where we are.
Okay, let's go backwards though. Let's go backwards. Okay. So let's just say this. So Iraq had bills prior to this Kurdistan bill today, correct?
Oh yeah.
And what rate do you assume that they were getting paid at as of, let's say, a week ago?
They got to be getting paid at the rate that's there now.
Correct. So if you had a budget, and let's say there's a fiscal budget and an operational budget.
Wait. Can I just throw one thing in there?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Remember, we were talking today. Remember, I told you the Kuwaiti just got paid $7 billion that was owed to them by Iraq. And what did they get paid in?
Let me guess. The new budget opening monies that was like $15 a dinar.
They got paid in dinar. For the first time ever, they did not get paid in U.S. dollars by
First
Iran.
time. Okay.
Yes.
Now there was
this is their first time, and they took the Iraq dinar instead of the U.S. dollar.
Okay, so let's back up. Okay.
Okay.
So Kuwait accepted international currency, correct?
Oh yeah.
And Iraq is paying their bills in an international recognized currency, correct?
Oh yeah.
So because they've been paying it at this rate, there's no way the rate could have been in the budget then, because if there was a rate in the budget, wouldn't that alarm every speculator that can transcribe Arabic in the whole United Universe?
Well, here's the way I look at it.
Okay.
Okay. If they are accepting the Iraq dinar the way it is now, then they must have been told something is coming up very soon. Because why not get my bill paid today in U.S. dollars, and then if you had this idea to prolong your revaluation to a much later time down the line, well, then we'll talk then. No, they didn't. They didn't delay this. They took the money now. This is the first time ever that Kuwait has taken, no U.S. dollars. They took the Iraq dinar.
Hold on. Pimpe, I got to do this.
Yeah.
Ron, this is for Ron, okay? He just checked in at 10:23. We're talking about the budget, okay, right now, okay? So I want people to understand we're talking about the budget right now. We got a lot to cover, but if you want to know what's going on with the budget right now, listen to Pimpe and I. We're going over it. Yes, Kuwait got paid in dinar But more importantly, Kuwait has never been paid in dinar, right, Pimpe?
No, they have always been paid in U.S. dollars.
Now, how long? Now they skipped a few payments, but they're trying to recap what, like what, $7 billion or something like that?
$7 billion.
Right. So it's feasible.
Now here's the thing that'll blow your mind.
Okay.
Is it $7 billion U.S. dollars or is it $7 billion Iraqi dinar dollars?
Well, no, it's $7 billion USD. It's always USD
Yes,
because
of course it is.
right. That right. How much did they pay them again?
They paid it. The whole thing.
How much though?
They paid the whole $7 billion?
Yes, in dinars.
Wait a minute. How many dinars is that?
I don't know. Here's the thing that I want to know. Did they pay them at the current rate, the $7 billion? Because I looked for this, so I could find it. Did they pay them the $7 billion at the current rate? Just said here's $7 billion Iraqi dinars, which would be huge for us.
At $11.90?
Yeah, can you do that math for me real quick?
Okay, well, help me.
Hold on, Pimpe. Let me get to Google. Just tell Google. Talk to me.
I got it right here.
But think about this.
What you want me to do?
Pimpe, hold on.
Go
Hold on. Do 7 billion
at the current rate.
which is like, let's just say, what do you want to say, 1190
Times $11.90?
divided.
Yes.
How much is that?
That's 5.8 million.
No, trillion.
No.
Yeah.
You want to multiply it then, not divide.
But wait, no, think about this now.
11.90.
Yeah.
If they accepted it at the current rate, they have to know, and they should have been reassured, they have to know something that we're not being told, and that is that the currency is going to revalue at a much higher rate than what they're accepting it at in order for them to accept that. Does that make sense? Why would I want Iraq dinars when I can take U.S. dollars? You know, why would I do that? Unless
It's like
you're telling me, hey, take the dinar, things are about to change. So what you're getting now is going to shortly.
Okay, but more so to the fact, we know that there's approximately 77 trillion dinars in existence, or so we figure, right? That they're counting. At 8 trillion.
I actually just saw a report on that, and I apologize. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Well, the last numbers I saw was 77 trillion. They just paid basically 1% of their total cash flow of a country to pay off one bill one time. Now, that's a miraculous, that's a bomb dropper by itself. I didn't even know that they paid the whole $7 billion. I thought they paid a portion.
No. I'll go back and look again. If I'm wrong, I'll make that correction.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my understanding was they paid the whole entire thing.
Yeah, double check that. Can you?
Like, in my mind, I'm not even doubting it. I'm like going, did they say that? No, I'm going, no, I know they paid it. That was a huge deal. That's what caught me about that.
Now, that satisfies a big thing about the SBA also.
Yeah, but remember, not only that, but guess who else took dinar as payment?
Who?
Remember, Iran took a huge part of their debt that was owed to them in the dinar.
Yeah, but that's here nor there to me. That's here nor there to me. First of all, they can't get paid in dollars anymore. Everybody knows that they're following the sanctions. Number two, they weren't supposed to take any more hard asset cash payments, period. So that doesn't matter to me either. So I don't want to, I'm not saying nothing bad with that. What you're making is a valid point, but it's not good for them not to be sanctioned later on. That's a bad point.
No, I get all that, but what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of things being paid in their own currencies. That's a good sign.
Well, yeah, the whole thing is they have to pay all their own bills on their own, right?
People have the option to be paid in U.S. dollars or the dinar. They're taking the dinar.
Wow. Okay, so let's go on to...
That's what I was all excited about earlier when I was texting you. I was like, this unbelievable things that I'm reading right now. You have Germany. I'm going to jump a little bit around the map.
Okay.
Talk about this. Germany calling in. They want to be in on this. They are calling. They want to do business. They are getting Siemens involved, which is a huge company. We're looking at, and I know you're going to want to cover this, but Saudi Arabia is working with Iraq to open the Aurora port. What that does is it opens up a clear pathway for ships to come in and out to do business. This is the agreement that was today. 6 months, they want to have it open within 6 months. Okay, 6 months. So that still leaves us in this year. But importantly, they just opened up the Saudi Arabian consulate in Baghdad today. So they're opening up 6 different consulates. I don't know why, but they have 6 locations is what they said.
Yeah, but you know what that means. The more Saudi influence, that's a more American influence that also strengthens. Yeah, yeah, that's a gimme.
Remember, I told you that my friend was over there. They were doing business, okay, but he wasn't over there to tell me about the dinar. He was trying to tell me that they were there to secure the United States, secure their interests in Iraq. There is a lot of people jockeying for position to the point that other countries that usually don't get along are saying, "Hey, let's partner up on this because this is going to be a big deal. Iraq's going to be a really big deal."
It's funny that these countries all seem to get along and things get paid when there's big money involved. Okay.
Okay, so look what we have. We have Qatar, you have Jordanians, you have Saudi Arabia, you have Germany, you have China, you have Russia there, you have the United States, Canada was there not too long ago. Okay, that's just to name a handful of countries that are saying to Iraq, let's do some business. People can easily go on there and Google. Look at all the recent trade agreements that Iraq has entered into, not to mention all the donations and all the loans that they've gotten to really, people know that this is a country that's been decimated by war many, many years. They're about to rebuild an entire country that sits down in the middle of all the trade routes and shipping routes for the Middle East.
Okay.
That's where Saudi Arabia is like, yeah, let's fix this port. Let's do business. Of course, now you know what I'm doing for the ISX people. That is, I'm trying to figure out which transportation shipping company is going to be able to take advantage of that because that's going to help us on the stock side of it if you're involved with the stock.
Okay. You want to ask a question? Go ahead.
Did they pay in billions or trillions?
Trillions.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Hold on. Go ahead. Go. You guys keep talking. I'm looking at some news breaking.
B with a billion.
B with a billion.
So they in dinar.
Dinar.
Okay.
But they had to have paid it back. It was 7 billion USD in trillions of dinar to pay it back.
So, and if that's the case, they would have to multiply it by the rate, and then that would take you to trillions, right?
Correct.
No, I will go back and I will get that and I'll send it to you.
No. Hold on.
My understanding was they paid straight in the dinar.
No. Before I get this all, let me stop, Pepe. Stop. Before I get the water murkied up real quick. If the bill was 7 billion USD, okay, they paid them 8.3 trillion dinar, okay? Not billion dinar, trillion dinar, okay? Now, that doesn't mean that that's a bad thing. It could be part of an infrastructure deal on electricity. That's what I'm kind of thinking. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they wanted some infrastructure going on there.
As we're talking, keep talking because I'm actually waiting. I'm picking it up right now. Because I want to make sure that I don't want to misinform people, but I want to make sure we're all on the same, on the same page.
And that's in the chat room. That's what they're asking. Is it billions or is it trillions?
So, it's trillions. I know it's trillions. And let me tell you why, guys, it's trillions and why that's important to note at this very moment. Because there's no rate in the budget for the regular rate. Do you see what I'm saying? That doesn't mean a bad thing. The jewel in all this is Kuwait has never accepted any payment ever in dinar. So if I had worthless money, Kuwait's got the richest currency in the world. Why would I accept it from you?
Right. No, we get that.
No, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
People in the chat are jumping up and down. So trust me. I mean, but we're just trying to get clarification. Was it billions or trillions? That's all.
Okay. They're about to pass the financial policy of money management, of money and cash in the state, which is important to note. I got to go back to this one that I just had up. While you're doing this, Pimp, I'm going to go to another article, okay?
Yeah, go ahead. I can still talk. I can multitask.
Okay. So I got you on the line. So did we talk about Saudi Arabia signing the MOU for the electricity? They signed that today?
Yes.
Okay, that's huge news.
There are actually 3 different companies, 2 from one country and 1 from another.
But remember... sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, but remember there was a stumbling block. Remember the corrupt old minister that was in there, the electricity guy? He wanted them to deal with some phantom shell company that was going to be put in place, and Siemens kind of backed off, and so did GE, remember? They were like, oh, man, we don't want to deal with those guys. We want to deal directly with the Iraqi government. So that's a real big thing. I think they removed that phantom company that they wanted to check in with. It was some Iraqi company. And they're going to work straight with the Minister of Energy and that type of commerce.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Directly with the Minister of Energy.
Correct. It's not now. It's not going to be some goofy, my brother-in-law's company that I'm trying to get him paid. That's huge by itself too. That means the stumbling blocks. That means the secretariatism. That means the corruption is being removed.
Vic said, "Do we know how much they owe and how much the payment was?"
Yeah, Uncle Luke's looking it up, and Pimpe, for all y'all who don't know, it was Uncle Luke. He's looking it up. We know they owed $7 billion.
Right now, be distracted by the fact that right now the internet is blown up with the Iran. Their people, and I don't know where they're getting this from because I'm not able to read the article because I'm looking for the other one. Right now, people are screaming that tomorrow they're going to announce the dinar at 7.5. I'm like, no, is that possible? 7.62. That's what they're saying is going to happen tomorrow.
That from?
Where'd you get that news from?
Where I'm at right now, trying to find that article that I found earlier.
Yeah.
I'm in there, but there's all kinds of rumors. This is the thing I don't like about when you come to this one site I go to. Some of the information is good. Some of it seems too good to be true. It's like,
What's the source? This here
is okay. I just ran over to. I'm looking at Dinar Gurus because in there was. I'm pretty sure I seen the article there, and at 3 different locations when they talked about the Kuwait being paid in the dinars. So that's what I'm looking for. But as I'm going through looking for old articles, in there they're posting now that they're expecting this to happen. I'm like, wait, what? I'm trying not to get stuck on those because, of course, you know what I want to do. Talking about.
You're looking at this. Okay, we're not getting into this. This is. I'm
no,
sorry.
Don't get into that. I was just saying this.
No, this is not factual from somebody. I'm not even going to name. I'm not even going there. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Okay. But let's get back to something else. Okay.
Go ahead.
So, why do you think it's super important that Saudi Arabia expedites the grant visas to the Iraqis in Baghdad over the next 2 months?
Why do I think what?
That the Saudi Arabia says we plan to grant visas to the Iraqis in Baghdad over the next 2 months. Do you not see where I'm going with that? Like, it's very important because the summer's approaching and they're already talking about doing electricity there and they're going to start building Sports City. It gets hot there to be working construction in the middle of the summertime, right? So they've got to do something to get the infrastructure set for the whole electricity grid for those poor people there. And it also stimulates large enterprise, global enterprise, and the labor construction engineers will all have to be done. At least 50% or more of those workers are going to be doing the labor and the manual work and the actual work will have to be Iraqis. Again, a stimulus to the country. So why the heck, if they're going to pay people out, they're going to pay them at $11.90. We know that. But if they're going to pay them out something different, don't you think they would have already said that?
Yeah, here's the thing, but I think you're absolutely right. One thing I did notice about a lot of different articles talking about the energy issue over in Iraq is this. They're worried about something that's coming up in the summer. Obviously, it gets really hot there. We know this, right? But that is actually a focus point in several different articles, which, again, is why he's telling, it's just my own opinion, that this reevaluation has to happen soon.
Before, what was that month? July what?
July 19th?
Right.
Is the end of the SBA.
Right. July 19th, we know it is a big deal. Now, I want to touch on something.
It's going to take that long.
Okay. Let's talk about something that just happened today, right? About 8 hours ago. There was a travel ban that was issued in Iraq, right? And it was a number of officials with corruption and speculations of having arrest warrants. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
It says on the list of banned officials was dispersed to all border checkpoints. The sources added. On the other hand, Iraqi Parliamentary Mohammed al-Habousi waived that some ministers and senior officials will be summoned for corruption speculation. Now, someone said they thought that Maliki was probably named in this, and I would tendency to agree with that. You know what I'm saying?
I think so too.
Okay, so his travel ban, but remember, he's still under the cloak of vice presidency because they haven't replaced that order, right? So he's probably vice president. I'm just guessing until they rebuke him.
No, I think, we all know that arrest warrants were already issued. So I don't know the politics of Iraq or how it works, but I'm going to guess if they're issuing arrest warrants for this guy, once they get a hold of him, I don't know what the process is, but let's call it impeachment. Once they get a hold of this guy, impeachment seems inevitable, don't you think? I'm just
right. I agree.
I don't know what their terms are.
Right, I agree with you. Okay. Let's talk about this real quick because it's funny we talk about impeachment And then we go right into an article that says the House of Representatives has 3 laws on integrity and the fight against corruption that's coming up, and the law of illegal gain, and a law where you have this. Meaning they never had a law where you couldn't gain things for illegal gains. They're about to vote on that. I think they did today.
Yeah,
that's coincidental, honestly.
I don't.
Said he heard that.
Is it coincidence? Think about what you're saying. Is it really a coincidence?
No, I know, right? Okay.
Yeah.
My boy Seamus just said he thinks Maliki's under house arrest. I don't think he's under house arrest, my brother.
It's funny you should say that. I didn't want to say nothing, but I heard the same rumor. I got to be honest.
Okay, then I'm gonna chime into you guys like I tell everybody. I'm gonna undo my shirt a little bit here. I'm getting down and dirty. Okay, show off my chest hairs. If Maliki was under house arrest, these guys can't hold that they have a anything going on in the country. It's all in the news, right? If Maliki was under house arrest, wouldn't we kind of heard about it, you think?
No, hold on now.
No, we know where Baghdadi is. Hold on. I know where Baghdadi is right now. But I think I know if Maliki was arrested.
But doesn't Maliki hold a lot of influence over a lot of people still?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, now, whether you're into this or not, you know what I mean? And that is for those individuals who I am going to get a little bit out of left field. Just hear me out.
Okay.
So for those people who listen or follow Q, all right, whether or not you're into QAnon or not, we all know that there is a arrest getting ready to happen with some really top, powerful people. You know, the Obama administration.
Hey.
Hold on. The point I'm trying to make is this.
Okay.
They're not going to announce that this stuff is going to happen. It's just not going to happen because of the influence and power that these people still have over other individuals.
But that's my whole point. No, hold on. That's my whole point. The DOJ, the FBI, Interpol, they don't put up a big sign, we're arresting this person today.
Exactly. That's my point.
They're just going to do it.
Would that get out? I don't think, not until they absolutely, in my opinion, is not until they absolutely have him or they feel like the announcement you can make without a huge backlash or a huge uprising.
Right.
I mean, how influential, you know better than I do, how influential is that guy? How much power does he have?
I mean, can I tell you what I call him? I call him Low Bodega, the boogeyman. I'm dead serious. He's the one that hold on.
You know better than I do. You tell me, Mr. B.
I'll tell you, bro. Listen, let me tell you this. You could go to the most hardcore Dinarian, and the very first thing they're going to tell you is nothing will happen with the RV until 3 things happen. 1, Trump signed for a second term. That's like their favorite thing to say. Number 2, Baghdadi's caught. And number 3, until the corruption and Maliki are arrested or gone. After those 3 things are done, then you'll have an RV. I disagree with a couple of those things. But I do agree with if Maliki is on the chopping block for, let's call it some type of accountability for the fall of Mosul and those government funds. I know the DOJ's after him. I know that for a fact. I've seen that. We know that. I know the DOJ's after him. I also know that the Iraqi, those 84 and prime, I mean, those 80 MPs are after him. I just think it's very interesting that they're passing that law in coincidence with them issuing a travel ban. That's where I'm going with that. That's gotta be.
Yeah, that's the same thing that we, again, because whether you believe it or not, here's my thing. I always say, is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. Does it mean I believe it? I believe it when I see it. I'm one of those kind of people. So, but they were talking about, you know, things that need to be put in place. The judges need to be replaced because they're all part of the corruption. The news is part of the corruption. I mean, you really get into it. So does Maliki have that same kind of power of the people that we're talking about? You know, obviously not, but close to what Obama has here. Does Maliki have that kind of influence over there? Will people lose their, excuse my terms, but lose their shit if they find out this guy got arrested? Yes, no. If people are going like, yeah, you know, he's corrupt and we expected him to get arrested, and then you won't have no real uprising. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, let me
like, wow, this is a guy that we love, respect, and we follow. We're not putting up with this. That might be different, and that might be why you want to keep it a little bit more quiet.
Okay, well, let's talk about another famous individual that ran roughshod over a place. It's a little town called Medellin, Colombia. A little guy named Pablo Escobar, right?
Oh, yeah.
He was probably the biggest domestic terrorist that ever walked that earth in Colombia, right? Remember when he went to jail? And he built that jail. He went to jail. Remember that?
The one he built? You mean his fortress?
Yeah. But he went to jail. He was under some type of supervision. Did the streets turn to blood and everything go chaotic and everything?
Okay, but look at it. Okay, so think about this. That guy spent $200 million to build his own prison. in which he had his own people locked up with him and his own hand-picked guards. As a matter of fact, if you don't remember during the World Cup, he had the soccer players there playing with him in the play yard.
Yeah,
So,
but brother, you got to understand, that's how powerful Maliki is in Iraq.
But that's what I'm asking you. You would know this better than I do.
That's what
if that's the case, if it was me, I sure to hell would not be announced on the news that had him in lockup. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because I would be afraid of, a big uprising. My goal would be to first continue in the news to explain all the different things that he did, all the different corruptions, why he should be arrested, why he's not good for the Iraqi people, and then get the support of the people, and then announce that you have him. That's just my opinion.
Okay. I found another article here I want to ask you. This is kind of like hot seat for you. The role of Baghdadi is no longer important in Iraq. And remember, he was the face of the caliphate, that Daesh, the terror. Now they're saying that he's no longer important, like he's not a big deal. The other day,
who's saying that though? But who's saying that? The news? The
news, yeah. It's all Somali TV is saying that the role of Baghdadi is no longer important or effective in the leadership of the organization. In addition, the leadership of al-Baghdadi in Daesh is no longer relevant today, although his pursuit is continuing to track any trace of him. He says in a television interview, they won't find him. He won't get done.
Well, I mean, to me, see again, this is an area in which I don't have a lot of knowledge in, and that is the politics of Iraq. You know that much better than I do.
Right.
I mean, to have the news already out there saying this guy isn't that big of a deal. It's just it might be. I think they do have him on house arrest. I think they do have him. You know what I mean? There's too many people know who. That's like, okay, let me give you a perfect example. That'd be like all of a sudden, Hillary went on a run, right? How is she going to hide in our country? Okay, she can't hide in our country. It's impossible.
Right.
She wouldn't be able to go anywhere without getting caught.
Right.
If the public knows, hey, there's Hillary and Hillary's wanted, they're going to turn her in. So that's the same with this guy. This person can't really go anywhere. People are going to know who he is. So my thought is he must already be caught. That's just my opinion, people. Okay? He is caught. I think that's why you're seeing a lot of these countries boldly coming forward all of a sudden over these last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have to know that the main corruption part of their cabinet is out of there. That's just my opinion. I would not go there to do business with them. I would not be breaking down phones, breaking down doors, begging, going there with 150 people, like Saudi Arabia did, this huge entourage of people going to talk about doing business unless I thought the person that would hurt me financially was out of the way. Does that make sense?
It does totally. I agree with you up 9%. Okay, let's switch positions because we got to take some questions. Mm-hmm. But I want to also tell all of our listeners right now that if you're paying attention to us, there is a list that Pempe gave me from another website about the list of things that need to be completed for the revaluation to happen, right?
Oh, yeah.
I want to read those off, Pempe, and I want you and I to kind of address those real quick.
Now, see this, you might know a little bit more in these areas than I do. I can have input, but this is why I sent it to you, because I was thinking to myself, some of these things I don't know about, but let's go ahead and talk about them.
Okay, before you start, just kind of when one talks, let the other one finish because they're losing it in the comments. Okay, so like when y'all talk, some parts y'all talking over each other. So just in case,
ask me, is there something they missed real quick?
Okay, I will. But
but before I get on this, is there something everybody missed?
And the main question earlier was, how much does Iraq owe Kuwait?
$7 billion.
Okay, so they paid them off.
They paid the whole thing. No installments, no payments, no nothing. That is huge. Okay. That's a bomb.
And then, okay.
Drop mic on that one. They paid the whole bill, Pempe said.
Okay, I will find it. Okay, so let's just throw that out tentatively. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't want to mislead anybody, and I don't want anybody to be misled. Let me just say this. I saw an article. I know what I read, but I want to tentatively throw this out there because if I'm wrong, I'm going to go, oh, crap, I messed up. I was wrong. But just so you know, the fact that they're paying him in dinar for the first time ever, that's the point I was more focused on. Not so. I know you guys are focused on a dollar amount, but for me, that wasn't a dollar amount that I was focused on. For me, it was, whoa, crap. They didn't didn't take U.S. dollars. They took the dinar instead. That tells me to me, that's like a huge indicator as a person who's an analysis person. As an analyst, I go, well, what kind of things tell me positive or negative about what we're doing? Well, to me, that's a huge positive.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there.
Go ahead.
I'm going to stop you. The only reason I'm going to stop you is I got to get some questions. So someone just asked me to take them from where we are, to now?
Jason asked, can you bring the convo into the timeline from April on?
Okay, so this is Pempe's timeline. Move to IMF Article 8. That's number 1. Number 2, HCL passed and implemented. It was passed in 2014. We need to be implemented. Herbal Agreement. Election law. That's been done. UNSC Chapter 7, done in 2013. CBI released the sanctions list. That happened a year ago. UNSC Chapter 6 began in 2000. So one thing I need the listeners to research is UNSC Chapter 6, if that's been completed.
Chapter 6 or 7?
Chapter 6.
Chapter 6, okay.
UNSC Chapter 6.
Okay.
Article 140 implemented. The Supreme Court supported it in 2018, but we need to make sure implementation has happened. Economic banking laws have passed, and they passed a big thing 2 weeks ago. We know that's done. Power sharing, that's done. International accepted dinar. Now, you could almost say 11's kind of done if Kuwait's taken undervalued currency. You could almost say it's done. Okay?
Yeah, I don't know what other indicator you would need. It is being done because it's not just Kuwait. There's other countries who are accepting payments or trades in dinars. That to me is why when I'm sitting at work, I'm doing both my work and kind of haphazardly going through different articles. But some things will totally grab my attention and they distract me from my job and I can't sit in my seat because, I get all riled up. I'm like, wow, this is just another huge indicator. This is really about to happen. You know what I mean? So it'll get you juiced up. It's hard not to get excited right now.
Can you read that?
And you guys have been doing this a lot longer than I have.
Hold on, brother. Gertha, Mr. Brando, make sure you get a copy of the FinCEN Form 104 currency transaction report for a currency exchange. Gurka, could you send it to me real quick or send it to me for the next show? Gurka Legend, send me that document you want me to have. Now, GOI seated hasn't happened yet. Tariff laws, already done. Market rate, already done. Did anybody see if EOC or EO 13303 was re-signed for this year?
What's it called again?
Executive Order 13303. It needs to be signed every year. Let's see if it was re-signed. Because tariff law done, CBI market rates done. The dinar, I think, is darn near done.
Signed every year?
Every year it's up for renewal until they go international.
Well, what does this mean? Done 12/2017.
What was done 2 years ago, 2019.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
This company's saying, hey, look, it's done.
So it has to be done by
the president has to re-sign that every year until they're international.
Every year or
Correct.
every 2 years?
Every year.
So if it was signed in 2018, then we just need 2019.
19. That's what I need. That's why I asked for 2019.
All right, I'm just asking for
I understand. No, I understand. They said thank you. Someone said. We're clearing that up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you get that, Pempe? EOC or EEO?
Yeah, I actually see it. It's an executive order. I'm just trying to see where the list of the different ones were signed. When is the last? Okay, so federal community. Okay, where is this at? This looks like it.
Sammy asked, "Are they going to finally seat the government on Tuesday?"
Yeah, they promoted 5 names, and they said they had 5 people that could do it. So I believe so. I really do. I believe the posturing's over, and they're actually going to seat that government next week. That's what my belief.
It was signed on 4/3/2019 at 6:15 EDT.
There you go. So 4/3/19 EO 13303 was signed. So we know we're good to go as an investment standpoint, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So
that was recent. That just happened.
Yeah,
right.
It just happened.
It happens every year around this time. I think the only things that we need to really happen are Article 8.
Article 8.
Implement HCL law.
2 cabinet members should be there. Now remember, Parliament goes back on the 10th. Let's hope. Now, word is that I think it's Maliki that you're talking about. One of them is stalling to put these last 2 members in. Is that the right person we're talking about?
That's Sauter. No, that's Sauter that's stalling.
Why is he stalling? Does anybody know?
You want my opinion? I don't know exactly. I'll give you my opinion. He's stalling because whoever takes those positions is basically going to be able to have free reign over not only just the government, but the financial institutions. As far as access to monies is, he wants to make whoever's in there is actually a technocrat and not somebody's brother-in-law or sister-in-law or an alak or something like that. So he's really trying to put the right person in place. And they say they have 5 people. All of them meet consensus. When they go back in, they can vote. And I have that article too.
Now, did you get a chance to read that article I sent you from Says Record from the Davos, Switzerland?
Yes. I read that. Now,
I just had to laugh a little bit.
Okay.
He does bash currency gurus, but then turns around and goes, okay, now that I've done that, congratulations. You know what I mean? And he's explaining.
So let's give everybody a little background on what Davos is, okay? Davos is a group that gets together, once a year or twice a year?
Once a year.
And they discuss basically the
No, it's not just a group. They're the world's billionaires.
Okay. Billionaires, they're the big...
No millionaires, billionaires.
Well, no, okay. But they're the world's biggest companies, billionaires. They're the people that shape the economic fold of the world that we live in.
Of the world, yes.
Okay. Now, in that, the guy, he bashes the whole guru thing about Iraq. I get that, whatever. I'm laughing, ha. Now, the part that was interesting in that article is that he went from that to really praising Iraq, praising where they came from, and actually saying that they should have revalued.
No, okay, so if you don't mind, let me take over on this because
Go ahead.
Says, okay, because Says is the guy that people like Warren Buffett and George Soros listen to. You know what I mean? So he was on there.
Hold on, Pimpe. What's his name again so they can write this down? What's that guy's name?
Says Red Card. Don't ask me how to spell his last name. I know who he is. Says is his first name.
Says like S-E-S?
Yeah, S-E-Z.
S-E-Z, Red Card?
Red Card. It's spelled like Richard, but Red Card.
With an
Okay. Now, who is he? Who is he?
He's I guess the best way to put him is an economical advisor. I mean, he's like the what for in the world of economical world. He's
like the J.D. Hunt of the economic world.
Yeah, he is. But now keep in mind, everybody needs to be careful. There's another person out there with almost the same exact name spelling. So don't mix the two up. You'll know the difference once you find them, okay, just so you know. So what Says was saying was this. Why he was bashing, just so you, real quick, why he was bashing currency gurus is he said they don't ever do the research necessary in the article to talk wisely about the different currencies. You know what I mean? They don't do the research. They don't look at the memorandums of understanding like we're doing. They don't know anything about the SPAs. They just go, oh, any day now, and they mislead people. But then he said, so having said that, and he brings it right back around and he says, congratulations, because this year, 2019, is what he says is the year that we're going to see 2 of those currencies finally revalue, in his opinion. And what were the 2 that he said?
Can I guess?
Go ahead, take a guess.
One is going to be the Zimbabwe RTG.
Nope.
Darn. Okay, one's going to be the South Korean peso.
You're killing me, man.
Okay, I'm going to guess 2 more. The Iraqi Dinar and the Vietnamese Dong.
And what did he say about the Vietnamese Dong? It is dramatically undervalued, and there's no reason for it.
You know why? Because China has all those sanctions against Vietnam, and they got to lift them. Once they lift those sanctions, they'll be on a different playing field. Totally different scenario.
Now, let me tell you why I like the fact that anybody in Davos at all is talking about the Iraqi Dinar and the Vietnam Dong. The reason that is whenever billionaires that control pretty much the world and what's going on say that, hey, these should be a lot more valuable, all of a sudden there becomes a lot of pressure from banks, from world leaders, from, you know what I mean? Because when they speak, these people move and they act.
The markets move. The markets move when they speak.
Yes, it did. And then also, if you look at the dinar versus the U.S. dollar over the last few weeks, it has been stronger against it as far as trade value. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. The rates haven't changed, but its purchasing power is becoming stronger than the U.S. dollar. That's a good thing. That's a really good thing for us that are in the dinar world. You know what I mean?
Okay, hold on. We got a question here. Hold on, Pepe.
Okay, so Jason wanted to know, can you touch on what is expected on April 21st, 22nd?
Yeah, Pepe, what was your timeline for April 21st, 22nd, and I extended it to 23rd?
Oh, remember I was telling you that was a time of the end of another session. Now I know they go Parliament. Parliament goes into the session on April 10th, but I think the end of it is right there at April 21st or 22nd.
Okay.
Is the other.
And then Bethany says, what about the launching of the private sector on April 25th?
Now that kind of coincides with my date of April 23rd. That my friend.
No, wait. Read that again because I want to make sure I heard you right.
What about the launching of the private sector on April 25th?
Now, how can you launch the private sector without reevaluating currency? I don't understand how that's going to be possible.
And also, I want to note on here that the private sector accounts for 37% of the GDP of Iraq. So how are you going to launch something that's already in effect?
Again, you guys have been at this much longer than I have. It's hard for me not to get overly excited about all this news. Everything we see now, every indicator seems to say this is about to happen. As a matter of fact, Sez was saying that not only was the Vietnam Dung drastically undervalued, but he said in order for Iraq to get ready to do what they need to do with infrastructure, they need to do a free-floating currency rate in order to be competitive in the trading world, is what he said.
Agreed.
Okay?
I agree. Now, I got something else to talk about.
Go ahead.
And then Luke says a coincidence that the China agreement gets finalized at the end of the month by Trump.
I know. Okay, so I won't get
that's a rumor.
Yeah.
It is.
Now let's not get into. I'll get into that conspiracy in a week. Let's talk about the one. Is there any more questions? Because we've been on for basically about an hour, right?
Yeah, it's 11 some change.
Okay, 11 and some change. So we got like a few more minutes. Is there any more questions that you have for Pempe or me or anything? Because on Monday, Pempe, I'm going to have on here Monday. I'm going to have on here the Matrix portfolio guys. Everything you ever want to know about the whole Iraqi infrastructure as far as e-commerce is concerned. Robert and Ben are going to do a call-in with us.
Okay, but the e-commerce. We're talking about electronic commerce. So my guess is he's going to be talking about the e-dinar, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I'm interested.
Yeah, and I might even try to get you in on that call to ask some good questions. I know you might. But Robert and Ben from Matrix.
A lot of information about that because I told you why, in my opinion, that these Middle Eastern companies or countries might be moving into the e-dinar because it's the easiest way to circumvent sanctions put on by the U.S. Because
that's a question I want you to ask Robert when we do our call on Monday for real.
Oh yeah.
Because I would love to hear his opinion on that. You know what I mean? Now we are at like 11:05. Any more questions out there? Are we done? Pimpe, we're done for the night, bro. I'm gonna let you get some sleep.
The other question is,
what's going on with Zimbabwe?
Oh, Zimbabwe, y'all. Zimbabwe's dead. I mean, I keep telling you guys, please, Zimbabwe, they're under sanctions. They dropped their currency. It's over for right now. Okay. So,
Okay.
I'm done. I'm off in Zimbabwe. I'm not talking about Zimbabwe, period. I love Zimbabwe. I have a lot of people that hit me up and say Zimbabwe is biblical. I get it, but nothing doing.
If you listen to everybody, everything is biblical. And the thing is, you don't want to, when you start talking that way, you kind of, you know what I mean? It really just takes away from everything that's going on. In my personal opinion, hey, I really do believe that everything that's going on in that article by Sez says this: we're about to see the largest transformation of wealth ever. So do I think when people say, oh, is that divine? Yeah, I do believe that there is a way where God comes in and goes, I'm tired of the corruption. Let's even the playing field a little bit. Yeah, but what you guys do with it after that is different, because what I don't like about what Shez says after that is when the Kuwait dinar revalued and made a lot of people millionaires, he said 94% of them in less than 6 months lost their entire fortune. And that really hit my heart hard.
Okay.
I was like, wow.
Pimpe.
Yeah.
What's your opinion about the Venezuelan currency? Venezuela.
I think we can't. I think avoid it until after the new leader gets put in there.
Okay, this is my opinion to piggyback off his. I agree. New regime, new leadership. Don't lock the currency. Keep the current currency intact.
Well, I don't know, but let me tell you why the current currency might be an issue, and this is what we got to watch for. A lot of it has been moved and stolen by the current leader.
Oh.
So if you think about that, then what usually happens is when a new regime comes in, they kill that currency just so that it has no value, and those people can't, raise a small army or whatever and come back. So if you just kill the currency, you get a new currency. That's why I'm saying, hey, kind of step back. As a matter of fact, I think there's a list of countries in one of these websites I went to. They're saying, watch for this reason, and especially like what's going on in Britain. The Queen's Bank taking a dive is huge for us.
Yeah, so Brexit.
I'm going to touch this. It's going to take me 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes to explain why.
Okay.
All of the currencies around the world, well, not all, the majority of them are pegged to two currencies. We know this. Iraq is pegged to the U.S. dollar. Okay? A lot of them are pegged to, including China, are pegged to the U.S. dollar. The other person, or the other country that everybody's pegged to is Britain. Okay? The euro. Okay? So, once Sweden unpegged themselves from the euro, it made their currency jump up in value. So what people are doing is, once Brexit happens, and it's going to happen, people are going to start unpegging themselves from the euro, making that a weak currency, but making these other countries that were pegged to it stronger. Just like I anticipated, as much as I love the United States, but we all know that the currency in the United States is going to lose a little strength. So we need these countries like Iraq to unpeg themselves from our currency so that they can freely, on their own, appreciate and value. Does that make sense?
I've seen it. No, I've seen this article.
Okay.
You guys, if you're going to send me articles, only send me translated articles. I don't translate them. Last but not least, I want to. Is there anything else to talk about? Someone else had a question.
I think it was Jason.
Hold on. What does Pempe feel about the
green light for April?
Pempe, what's your feelings on April?
It should have been done in March. So
no. April specifically. I want to talk about April.
Before I answer that, is this. Even in Cez's article, says it should have been done in March. So if we all thought that it should have been done in March, I feel absolutely wonderful that it happened in April. Absolutely. I can't sit still at my desk. I've been picking up 100,000 dinars every week, adding a little bit more to my collection. Now, having said that, I'm not telling people to rush out and sell your house and stuff. Don't do that, please. Okay, because this is still the same thing. Anything could happen. But if Cez is saying, no, why didn't this happen in March? It should have happened in March. Everybody's anticipating this to happen. It's going to happen, in my opinion, in April. I feel really, really good about it happening in April. I told you about my dream. I told you that I have.
Yes, you did.
My dream was April 22nd.
Man, okay, Pempe.
Then Jason was saying that April 25th launch date for Iraq was stated on Iraq TV from the gurus.
That makes no sense. You have to read that again and clearly.
He said that the April 25th launch date for Iraq was stated on Iraqi TV from the gurus.
Okay.
So, it's real simple to really just kind of put things in perspective. Okay. We know that Parliament goes back into session on April 10th. Mm-hmm. It ends somewhere around the 22nd. We know this. Mm-hmm. We know that the goal is to start certain parts of the infrastructure immediately before the summer gets here. All right? And why? So we also know that there's pressure from the IMF, the World Bank, the World Trade Organization, and now billionaires from Davos saying, why the hell are these currencies so cheap? They need to be free-flowing. Okay, you got pressures. Look at all the trade agreements that are happening now. Why are countries taking payment in dinars? This points in one direction. It has to happen. It has to happen sooner than later. Okay, I just see it happening any later than April, because now we're starting to move from spring into summertime. That's just my opinion. All right. If Saudi Arabia is saying that they're going to have the port open in 6 months to do business, you can't do business at the level that they want to do trade-wise around the world with such an ugly value currency. It's just not going to happen. It's going to happen, in my opinion, this month. I feel really good about that.
Okay, Pempe got something right here. It says the Association of Private Banks on Thursdays held a preparatory meeting for private banks, financial payment companies in the Central Bank of Iraq on the day of financial coverage, which starts on the April 25th, while the meeting was held at a station building at Central Bank. Meaning, executive order, you point out the reason is charged for financial inclusion. Yeah, it looks like a big deal is about financial inclusion on the 25th to address the weakness of the public in the banking culture, pointing out that this year we'll see an increase in access to more provinces by adding the Kurdistan region of Iraq and the provinces of Basra, as well as the intensify the exhibitions in Baghdad. I've always told people about banking inclusion. Banking inclusion is super important because it puts people in the bank to get their services. And that's super duper important. You know what I mean? But
yeah, plus, remember I just told you last time we talked what was happening that week when I was talking to you? There was a synopsises that were being ran by science of all people in Iraq on the different ways they need to revalue the currency. They are currently training. They've trained their bank tellers. They've liquidated the assets. They said they have a surplus in all the banks. Why is there a surplus? What would be the purpose of that? What are you training your tellers for? Well, they told us they're training their tellers to be able to handle the large volumes of currency exchange. This was there. That's happening. They have the new banking, I believe they have new banking software. I forget the name of it, but I believe they installed new banking software that allows them to deal with people around the world. Mm-hmm. Okay, think about all these indicators. Think about all the trades, all the loans, all the donations, everybody rushing over here to do what they're doing. Mm-hmm. Think about countries taking payment in dinar now, not U.S. dollars. That's huge, okay? Think about all these. You got Germany. They're not even coming over here and delegates. They're calling on the phone. Starting with 150 people delegates. Mm-hmm. A whole crowd of people to talk about business. They're saying within 6 months they want to have this port expanded and open. I mean,
and that's why I say
you need. Look at everything that's happening. Everything that's happening. Okay, in the worst case scenario, if I may throw this out there, in the worst case scenario, it's no longer a matter if this is going to happen. It's just now a matter of when. So we all know this is going to happen.
And even if the win is the summer or even the winter, it's still worth the adventure. You know what I'm saying?
In my opinion, even if it didn't, I don't want to jinx it, but I was telling myself, well, Lee, what happens if it doesn't hit for 2 years? I don't care. You could see the writing is on the wall. It's no longer if.
Right.
It's anybody that's out there going, I wonder if, you're not paying attention to everything that's going on around you. You're really not. And especially over the last 2 months, when we first started talking, I was saying, wow, there's the IMF thing, this is the SBA thing. Look at all these things that I've been, 72 articles of trades I've read over the last 6 weeks. My brain's about to blow up.
I know, right?
No country, there's no country out there right now, not a single country out there that people are rushing to do business with more than Iraq. We're talking about an 8.1 GDP, and Shez is saying in 5 years after that, an 11 GDP? What the heck? Really? Has anybody ever heard of a GDP at 11?
Never.
Now, we get excited when it's 3. So if you're out there telling yourself, well, I wonder, I don't think this is, you're fooling yourself. Like Mr. Brando said, hey, let us know if you want to get rid of your dinar.
We'll buy them. Me and Pempe collectively will buy all of them.
Yep.
All right, bro. Well, look, we're going to sign off for tonight.
All right.
We've done our due diligence. I think we covered everything that we can possibly cover. I'm going to tell you guys this. No, there's no ever rate in the budget except for the rate that was in there previously, because they're not going to give speculators a chance to gain any type of leverage or value off anything. Number 2, we point out a timeline that's feasible and intelligent and provable based upon facts, correct?
Oh, yeah.
And number 3, we're going to have the Matrix guys on Monday. I hope to have Jan on at least by Friday. Pempe and I are always going to be here to answer questions, do things. Miss BB's on the 1s and 2s doing all the research. And you know, I got Babe who I love. I got Daz out there. I love John's Outhouse, IQD Chat, all these guys, Matrix, all these portfolio, all these awesome people. And I just want to say thank you to all you guys, especially you, Pempe. I got you online. We don't always agree, but we agree on one thing. We're going to be rich one day. We agree on that.
No, we're just fam. Look, you know what? Everybody's got their own opinion. There's nothing wrong with that.
And that's my brother. And we don't agree, but that's my brother.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing. You know, nothing at all. It's whenever people start doing catty little sneaky stuff behind each other's back. That's the people we don't want to deal with.
And that's what we don't deal with. Right. Yeah. No. Well, my brother from another mother, you have a great night. All my King of Guru crew, you guys have a great night.
Shout out to Ron at Nomad in Las Vegas. We ran into him.
And his partner. Who was his partner?
Oh my gosh, I forgot.
The guy that got him in the investment.
I'm getting ready to head over to Vegas.
Yeah.
Hey, when you do, I'm gonna give you Ron. You gotta go stay at the Nomad. Pempe for real.
At the park.
MGM Park.
I got timeshares over there. I used to be a club promoter. I have the hookups. There's no club over there that I can't get into. No line waiting.
And there's some Dinar people out there.
Hey, but while you're out there, do like we do. Run to your Dinarian family and say hello. They would love to see you.
Absolutely. Hey, I tell you what. I'll announce when I'm going. If anybody's out there in that neck of the woods and you want to come through and be treated like royalty, let's go to the clubs. Let's pop some bottles.
Well, you ain't tell me all that. No.
Crazy.
I love you, brother. We're about to sign off, okay?
All right, you two have a good evening. Bye, Miss April.
Bye.
Love you guys. Bye. See you guys on Monday. Matrix Portfolio Monday live.
Have a good weekend.
Hey, and if you can't be good, be bad, or be just like me. Because I'm bad.
I don't think we're still out. I don't know why I didn't take.